Welcome back to Season 2 of the Pagcast. We're back traditionally with my friend Charlie, who's now, I guess you could say, an NFL analyst with me.
Yes, sir.
So today we are going to be talking about our predictions for the upcoming season. That includes playoffs and records for the divisions. Then we're going to talk about the new coaches. Jadeveon Clowney gets traded. The Zeke signing that happened this morning. We're going to talk about Kenny Stills. Then we're going to talk about LaShawn McCoy getting cut, but then getting signed by Kansas. Antonio Brown, the trade that happened in the offseason. The Jets signing Le'Veon Bell. The Browns acquiring Odell Beckham Jr. Andrew Luck surprisingly announces his retirement. The Nick Foles, Mosley, and Thomas signing. So let's just jump right into it. So the NFL kicks off Thursday night with the Chicago Bears going up against the Green Bay Packers. I'm excited for this season. I feel like this would be a very fun season. With there's also new coaches. So you got Cliff Kingsbury for Arizona, Zach Taylor for the Bengals, Freddie Kitchens for the Browns, Vic Fangio for the Broncos, or is it Fangio? Whatever. Then you got Matt LaFleur for the Green Bay Packers, Brian Flores for the Miami Dolphins, Adam Gase for the New York Jets, and Bruce Arians, who now came out of retirement, for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So let's start off with the Zeke signing. I'm pretty sure he signed a $90 million deal, which is like absurd. So it's a record 6-year, $90 million contract extension. So let's start off with your thoughts on that.
All right. So in my opinion, Zeke is one of, if not the best running back in the league, only contested by like Saquon and maybe Christian McCaffrey. I think they paid him quite a bit. You could have paid him maybe a little less because you have Tony Pollard in the backfield who feels he's ready to hold up the running team. However, they did pay him quite a bit. They could have paid their tackles maybe. Their D tackles, their O tackles, maybe paid them a bit more. But you know what? Overall, I feel like it was a good choice considering he's like a once-in-a-generation player. They do need to keep him rather than send him away like the Steelers have.
And then, going back on your point about paying him a little less, you also have to think about Dak Prescott. He's waiting for a contract extension, and he wants more than $40 million. Like, that's absurd. Mm-hmm. So you have both Zeke and Dak making over probably $130 million combined. It's honestly insane. So then Jadeveon Clowney got traded. Surprise. It's not really a surprise since he actually was disgusted with the Texans. He wanted to go to Seattle because Seattle told him that he was going to sign the franchise tag with them. And so Seattle's stats last year, for total yards per game, they were 16th. Passing yards, they were 17th. And rush yards, they were 13th. So obviously with the Jadeveon Clowney trade, this should help them up those stats. Seattle gave up Barkevious Mingo, Jacob Martin, and a third-round pick. So let's go over Mingo's stats. 2 forced fumbles, 1 sack, and 3 tackles for loss. Then Martin's stats, 2 forced fumbles, 3 sacks, and 2 tackles for loss. So these 2 young defensive players will probably be good for Houston. With Jadeveon Clowney, he's still a young player, I think. Mm-hmm. And he's already an all-star. So it's not looking too good for Houston as they got weaker, I'm pretty sure. But time will tell.
Well, in my opinion, I feel like that was like a pretty even trade because obviously the Texans, they're looking for something else because their O-line has been very bad the past couple years. They don't want Deshaun Watson, who's a very good rookie. He's already been injured.
Yeah.
They want to keep him safe because he's very good. He's not a rookie. I said rookie. He's like 3rd year now, 4th year, something like that. He's very good. They want to keep him safe. So they got the left tackle to guard the blind spot, probably the most important position on the O-line. So maybe they felt they needed that rather than a good D-line where they already have like J.J. Watt and Whitney Merciless. Maybe they didn't need as many weapons there as they did on the offensive line.
Yeah, and if you look over the tape from last year, Deshaun Watson was scrambling all over the place. It kind of was like a Russell Wilson type-esque situation there, where like the pocket quickly collapses and the quarterback is left scrambling for yards or an incomplete pass, interception.
Mm-hmm.
But the Texans weren't done dealing there. They traded 2 first-round picks and a second-round pick to Miami for Laramie Tunsil and Kenny Stills. So Stills' stats, 6 touchdowns, 37 catches for 553 yards. It's a good addition to the wide receiver core they already have with DeAndre Hopkins. Mm-hmm. So the other team's coverage will have trouble trying to... Because you can't double coverage DeAndre and leave Stills wide open.
You have Kenny Stills, Will Fuller, Kiki Kuti. They have a ridiculous receiving core now. Yeah. So you got to kind of choose who you're going to double.
Exactly. And Kuti is becoming underrated, I feel like. Yeah, people are sleeping on him. Yeah, exactly. So then I feel like Houston probably gave up a little bit too much. 2 first-round picks and a second. Mm-hmm. Miami's draft capital will be a lot, and if Houston does really bad, if they miss the playoffs, that's major. Yeah. So they have to make the playoffs in the next 2 years for them to feel good about themselves for the trade.
Mm-hmm. I don't know about the 2 first round. I feel like that was a little too much. Yeah. Because being Steelers fan, whatever, they gave up Antonio Brown for a 5th and a 7th. Yeah. And I feel like he's maybe a little worse, maybe a little less valuable to a team than Jadeveon Clowney, but not that much worse. Yeah. 2 first rounds, because you can get some potential Hall of Famers in the first round.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So then Melvin Gordon has asked the LA Chargers, and they have granted to be traded. He is holding out for a contract extension, and he's not going to report to Week 1. The recent news has been one team, although I've tried my best to research. This team has not been identified, but there's one team inquiring about Gordon's availability. He's obviously an all-star running back. Anyone would want him on his team. But I think a possible suitor for Gordon could be, I think the 49ers could use him.
49ers, yeah, maybe. They have a decent running game. Matt Breida, Tevin Coleman, but they've really lacked a great solid running back that can kind of carry their offense. Because right now their offense is in shambles, man.
Yeah, it is.
Jimmy G's his first preseason game, 4 of the 7 passes were touched by a Bronco.
Yeah, it wasn't as good as many people thought he was going to be good. No. And I'm pretty sure when New England traded Jimmy Garoppolo to the 49ers thought they had their starting quarterback. Mm-hmm. But it seems like they have to now draft a quarterback, and you have to, pick, and you might miss, and... Mm-hmm. As a Bills fan, I've been through that. But now with Josh Allen, I think if he improves his accuracy, they got a good quarterback. But now moving into Bills news, they cut LaShawn McCoy, which came as a surprise. Mm-hmm. Twitter was blowing up over it because everyone thought he was a lock for the season. Mm-hmm. I thought it was a lock. Everyone did. Mm-hmm. And but if you look at his stats, he had a career low in scrimmage yards with 514. And a career low in touchdowns with 3. And the reason they cut him is because he didn't take a pay cut, which resulted in him getting cut. Mm-hmm. So then, with this move, the Bills saved $6.175 million in cap space. Mm-hmm. Now they have Frank Gore, TJ Yeldon, and Devin Singletary, who are all locked in at a combined $4 million of cap space. So obviously Brandon Beane, Big Baller Beane, has made a money move, no pun intended, to make sure you have as much cap space as you can, because you don't want to be up against the cap. Yeah. And Devin Singletary is a rookie coming into this year. I hope he does well. I think he will be the starter over Frank Gore and TJ Yeldon. Frank Gore with him aging, I don't think the Bills want to put him out that much, because you could have another Raphael Bush situation where he just retires at halftime.
Yeah, that wasn't a good situation. I don't think LaShawn McCoy is worth that much. He was when he was younger, more agile. He was really good. He pretty much carried the running game for the Bills and the Eagles in his time. But now he's much older, and he's still on that pretty big contract for his skill level. With $6 million, you could sign 2 pretty good players, mm-hmm. or 2 or 3, even 5 rookies to a decent deal. I'd much rather do that.
But then the Kansas City Chiefs have signed him to a 1-year, $4 million deal with $3 million guaranteed. So he's making almost half of what he was with Buffalo, which is kind of weird. Basically saying that he didn't want to play. Because if he wanted to play for Buffalo, he would have taken that pay cut.
Mm-hmm.
But now, I get it. Like with all the these athletes, they want to make as much as their body can give the team, so they need to make money quick. But with him signing with the Chiefs, I feel like that just told management, like, hey, I basically don't want to play for you guys anymore because I still feel like I'm worth $6 million. Then he goes off and signs the Chief and gets $3 million guaranteed. It's like, what?
I think that's a good addition for the Chiefs as well.
Oh, 100%.
Open up the backfield with Kareem Hunt gone.
Yeah.
That situation and all. Now, Damian Williams, very good running back.
He was.
Damian Williams, like, how old is he now?
I'm not sure.
He's like pretty young. I think he was like a rookie or second year last year.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. He's a young running back. He's got a lot of potential. Last year was pretty good. So I feel like he was like carrying the whole load because they really did not have anyone.
Yeah, so he's 27 years old, as
27, he's old.
Google says.
Okay.
But I guess, both LaShawn McCoy and Damian Williams are both viewed as starters from some people, some experts. Yeah. Which, you can make that point. Mm-hmm. And it would be fun to see both Mahomes, who can throw no-look passes.
He's ridiculous.
He's going to be ridiculous this year again. And, then you got the backfield, which will be helpful for him. Now we'll move on to Antonio Brown. The Steelers traded Antonio Brown to the Raiders last season, or this offseason, for a third and a fifth. The third round pick was Deontay Johnson, and the fifth round pick was Zach Gentry. So I thought Brown's downfall was, when he started live streaming the locker room talk after the playoff game. That's when it just kind of nosedive. He was mad that he didn't get the ball more, which if you think about the wide receiving core, you got Juju Smith-Schuster, who's going to be an all-star. You have Antonio Brown, and then you have Le'Veon Bell, who can also catch, right? There's no lacking in his catch. Then you have Jesse James, who is a pretty good tight end, I thought.
I think Vance took the starting spot, though.
Yeah, Vance is starting this year. Jesse James moved on to, I'm not sure where, but he's off the team.
I think he's in the Lions, actually.
Yeah, possibly.
Something like that.
But then Big Ben called him out. And then Antonio Brown tweeted at Ben Roethlisberger, a couple days ago or maybe a week ago, saying they were never friends.
Yeah, that's so stupid.
Yeah,
Antonio Brown, he used to be one of, if not my favorite player. I love the guy. He has so much talent.
He does.
So good at football. So many great plays throughout that one season that the Steelers had where they almost won. They were so close. So many great plays, so many clutch plays. And he goes on to just ruin it all.
Exactly.
Now he's being locker room cancer for the Raiders, for everyone he goes to.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, remember that rumor with the Brown to the Bills?
Yeah.
I'm thankful that didn't happen.
Yeah, honestly.
Holy crap. Let's move on with him to the Raiders. So during training camp, he filed 2 grievances to the NFL stating that he wouldn't play unless he was allowed to use his older helmet. If he was on the Bills, I would want him off the team. I would assume that Bills Mafia would buy a Brown jersey, holy crap, and then next thing you know, next month, it's in the trash getting burnt up, because that's what Bills Mafia does.
What? Just wear a different helmet, man.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter. It's just a helmet. You feel the view. You feel the view is a little smaller. No, it's not. It's maybe a tiny bit smaller. The other one's banned. They're not going to let you wear a banned helmet in the league.
Exactly.
What do you expect?
Then, to no surprise, he lost both grievances. And then there's a rumor circulating that he would retire if he didn't get to wear his banned helmet. So I'm pretty sure this helmet situation just cemented him as him looking bad towards other average NFL fans. And then, actually, if you go to his Instagram page and search of AB, that's his Instagram username, click on his story, and he's mad that the Raiders are fining him for missing workouts and preseason games. And honestly, I don't blame the Raiders. I think that Brown has no ownership towards anything, which I think is ridiculous.
Very stubborn guy.
Yeah, it is. Now, the Steelers lost another star player in running back Le'Veon Bell, who signed a 4-year, $52.5 million deal. And then a couple confusing parts is he didn't want to play in preseason, which confused me because if you're going to a new team, there's a new offensive scheme that Adam Gase is running, especially he's a new coach. And you have to get used to where usually the offensive line makes the holes. And with him not going into the preseason games, he didn't play last year at all. He had the contract holdout, so you gotta assume that there's some rust. Like, I'm pretty sure that rust is holding over him, right? It's just like this cloud that's forming over him, and he has to tell the critics, like, look, I don't have any rust. So in week 1 against the Bills, which is Sunday at 1 o'clock, he has to show that he has no rust.
I feel like, okay, Le'Veon Bell, he was a great player, probably the best running back in the league during the season that before his holdout. So then he held out, didn't get paid, lost a ton of money, went to the Jets, and took like a smaller contract.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Steelers offered him a bigger contract.
Yeah, I don't know. So Le'Veon Bell, I feel like it's fine with him missing certain preseason games, because in practice, if he feels confident that he knows it, he doesn't really want to get injured. Aaron Rodgers is doing the same thing.
Yeah.
With a new coach and everything. But I feel like Le'Veon Bell, I feel like he should be there, because he's a very, stubborn guy, just like Antonio Brown, and I feel like he needs to get in his head, otherwise, the same situation is going to happen for the Jets if they don't win.
Yeah, exactly. No, the Browns made a trade. They acquired Odell Beckham Jr. from the New York Giants for a first and a third. The first round pick turned out to be Dexter Lawrence, and the third round pick turned out to be O'Shane Zymons and Jabril Peppers. It was a safety. So I thought that the Giants drafted well with Dexter Lawrence. He's going to be he's a defensive tackle, right? Yeah, he's a great defensive tackle he played for Clemson, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I'm probably going to be wrong there. But, I thought this trade helped out the Browns a lot, because now they have Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham Jr. to throw to.
And I feel like the Giants pretty much threw away Odell Beckham Jr. because, maybe they thought they'd get a superstar. Maybe Dexter Lawrence will become a superstar. Maybe he'll be next Aaron Donald. Maybe it'll be ridiculous. But as of right now, I feel like their defense was already in shambles. Maybe they're trying to focus on that first, but now they have no offense at all. They have Eli Manning at quarterback.
Yeah, who's old.
Yeah, their best receiver is Sterling Shepard.
Yeah, and then you got Daniel Jones, who they took at 6, which was dumb.
They are not very good draft.
Didn't they pass up on Josh Allen, the DN for Jacksonville?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They passed on Dwayne Haskins as well.
Yeah.
I don't know what
I don't know what Dave Gettleman is doing.
Maybe he's got some crazy scheme and he just knows they're going to be crazy. Because Daniel Jones was really good in the preseason, but that's against trash players, against backups.
Exactly. Yeah. Third strings.
It doesn't really say much.
Then unfortunately the Colts are out of luck. Andrew Luck. That's no pun intended. Andrew Luck announced during the dying stages of the fourth quarter of the Colts preseason game that he was retiring from the NFL. With the injuries he suffered, I have nothing but respect for that. He wants to take more time with his family, which is, again, understandable. I was growing up, we basically grew up with him. He stepped in as the Colts' number 1 QB after Peyton Manning left. And, he was fun to watch.
Yeah.
One of my best memories watching it was with the Snow Bowl, the Colts and the Bills, and that game was snowed out. And honestly, they were getting these snow blowers every 20 minutes, just going up and down the field, blowing the snow. And I thought that was a fun game. But then, go ahead.
I would say he was a great player. I really liked watching him. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks because I felt like he had quite a bit of potential. Could have became something great. But with injuries, he was plagued with injuries.
He was.
Much every year, he'd just get injured and miss a few games. So I like that he's living life on his own terms and not necessarily listening to everyone telling him that he made a stupid decision and that he should play.
Yeah.
So I like what he did. Honestly, I like it.
Then let's talk about the booing. He got booed off the field, but it's kind of adjustable because as a fan, you're just learning about it right now. So your first reaction is man, what the heck? Because the Super Bowl odds, I'm pretty sure they're 1,500 to 1 or 500 to 1. They had really good Super Bowl odds. And everyone's all right, this is our year. Let's go and get it. Yeah. And then Luck retires, and everyone's what the heck, man? And so those Super Bowl odds drop. They nosedive because now Jacoby Brissett's a QB.
Listen.
And I don't think he'll be as good as many people envision as he will be.
I think Jacoby Brissett will be ridiculous. They just signed him to a 2-year, $30 million. That's quite a bit of money.
Yeah.
That's a good amount for a quarterback.
Oh, if you want to be number one, here's a contract extension.
Much, he was getting like $852K before this.
So
then he started to practice more and like, whoa, this guy is good. Let's pay him more for 2 years. So I feel like he's going to go off with the Colts. He has T.Y. Hilton. He has Marlon Mack. He has good weapons. As long as, and Quentin Nelson on the O-line.
Yeah.
I feel like their O-line, if it holds up, Jacoby Brissett is going to be like a top-tier quarterback this year.
I hope he has a good season this year because he's stepping into big shoes that need to be filled. So I hope he has a great year. So a couple free agent news. So Nick Foles signed with the Jacksonville Jaguars, 4 years, $88 million. He decided to take over the starting role because with Philadelphia, Carson Wentz was the starter there, and Philly wasn't looking to put Wentz as backup because with Wentz, he got like a couple injuries, and then that put Foles in the starter, and then that led them to that insane playoff run when they won the Super Bowl.
Even last year, as soon as like Carson Wentz, he got injured or something.
Yeah.
And then as soon as Nick Foles came in, they started to win.
Exactly.
They won a bunch of games in a row, made the playoffs, and then they won on the double doink. And then lost from Alshon Jeffrey just dropping an easy pass. So I feel like Nick Foles I feel like he's better than Carson Wentz, or at least he has been.
Exactly.
He has been better in the past few years. So Carson Wentz really needs to prove why he deserves the starting spot.
So then Foles' stats last year, 1,413 yards, 7 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and he was sacked 9 times. So with C.J. Mosley, he signed with the Jets, 5 years, $85 million. I thought he was a big factor in helping with the Ravens defense get to where they were. So the Ravens defense was number 1 in total defense, which I thought was very well. They were top 5 in passing, and they were 4 in rushing. So I thought that he played a major factor in that. Earl Thomas signed with the Baltimore Ravens, 4 years, $55 million. With the Ravens losing C.J. Mosley, I feel like Earl Thomas can help the secondary.
Yeah.
And there's a fallout with him flipping the bird to the Seahawks, which I thought was kind of disrespectful. I feel like players should have that level of respect for their team. Right?
They took them from, I don't know, usually they took them out of college and kind of made their dream come true.
Exactly.
Of becoming a football player. So I feel like just then you should have a certain level of respect, not to just flip them off.
Exactly,
If they don't want to pay you as much, then maybe you don't deserve to be paid that much. Or maybe you should go somewhere else where they either do or just stay there and take a pay cut if you want to win with that team.
Yeah. So then Earl Thomas' stats, he had 3 interceptions with 5 passes defended. Now this brings us to our predictions. So, you don't have any division prediction, or do you?
I do, yeah.
Okay, so let's start with the AFC East. So I have the Bills winning the division, 11-5, because I think people are sleeping on the Bills' defense. They were, they were number 1 in passing, they were 16th in rushing, and they were number 2 for total defense. So, and they've had a good defense for the last couple of years, ever since Trey White joined the team, same with Micah Hyde from the Green Bay Packers. So I feel like they're going to ball out most of the time. And hopefully Josh Allen will improve his accuracy to get more touchdowns and basically to shut up the critics that he's not the QB. Second is the Patriots 10-6, Jets are 7-9, and the Dolphins are 6-10.
All right, okay. So I feel like that is a very bad prediction. I feel like the Patriots are going to win. Because they're going to.
Yeah, Brady makes every irrelevant wide receiver
just ridiculous.
Relevant.
Okay.
It's weird.
Yeah. I have them going 12-4. Because they're a very good team.
Yeah, they are.
Bill Belichick, Tom Brady era is just ridiculous.
Let's not forget Gronk retired.
Yeah,
so I feel like that will play a major part because I feel like with him he was a good blocker, I thought that with him in coverage, it was hard to cover him because he's so strong and so tall that Brady used him a lot. So I feel like with that loss, I feel like it'd be harder for them to win games.
True. Continue. And then I have the Jets in second at 7-9. I feel like Le'Veon Bell and Robbie Anderson are both going to have breakout years.
Oh, Robbie Anderson, yeah.
Sam Darnold is in his second year now. He's a lot more experienced now. I feel like they're going to be able to do a little something. Yep. So and then I have the Bills going 6-10.
Okay, that's fine.
Because I feel like even with their good defense, their offense just has no weapons.
Okay, so yeah, we could say that about the Patriots. Sure, the Patriots have no star weapons.
Julian Edelman won Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, okay, that's one.
Okay, Cordarrelle Patterson, one of the fastest rookies.
Yeah, he was one of the fastest players.
He's ridiculous. Tom Brady is ridiculous.
Yeah.
The best quarterback of all time.
Well, let's talk about John Brown. He's super fast. Robert Foster, he's super fast.
I don't even know who Robert Foster is.
He came from Alabama. He was an undrafted rookie that they signed from Alabama.
John Brown, I agree with that. He's really good. He was on the Ravens. He was very good. But that's about it.
What about Cole Beasley?
Cole Beasley's like 5'7". He's like me at a wide receiver. He's trash. Okay, and then I have Dolphins obviously in last, 4-12.
They're blown up.
Yeah.
So AFC West, I got the Chiefs winning the division, 13-3. Chargers going 9-7. Broncos going 8-8, and Raiders 3-11.
Wow.
Oh wait, no.
3-11. 3-13.
Yeah, 3-13.
Okay. Would you like to explain why you have the Raiders so low?
Well, maybe because I don't like their team isn't as developed as most people look like it is. I mean, like they have Antonio Brown, and I don't think Derek Carr will use many other assets that they have because I'm pretty sure his favorite target would be to target Antonio Brown.
Yeah. Okay, so. And I had the Chiefs winning, obviously. They have ridiculous offense. Probably like one of the best all time. It's crazy. Yeah. Then I have Chargers at 11-5.
Okay.
I feel like would they go 12-4 last year? I think they did.
Yeah.
I think they'll maybe take a step down from last year because, Phillip Rivers, he's getting older.
Yeah, they need a quarterback.
Keenan Allen's kind of soft.
Yeah.
Same old problems as usual. But then Derwin James.
What about Mike Williams?
Mike Williams, he's very good.
I think he has a lot of potential.
Yeah, he was a big sleeper pick in my fantasy league. He's very good. And then I have Broncos at 8-8.
Yep.
They're an even team. And then I have Raiders at 7-9.
Okay.
I feel like Derek Carr with Josh Jacobs, Antonio Brown will be able to score enough to win a few games. And also on the defensive end, they just got Cleveland Farrell.
Yeah, exactly.
Also going to be, I feel like he's going to be nasty. Number 4.
Well, let's not forget, the Raiders have Nathan Peterman with them.
That's true.
I mean,
I didn't even think about
God himself, Nathan Peterman. Although he got himself injured and he's on the injured reserve. And I'm like, man, because he was slotted as number 2.
Yeah.
He was the backup behind Derek Carr. So if they were getting blown out, you would assume that John Gruden would go to Nathan Peterman.
Nathan Peterman.
All right, so with the AFC North, I have the Browns winning the division 11-5, Ravens at 10-6, Steelers at 9-7, and the Bengals at 7-9.
Okay. All right. So I have the Steelers winning the division because they're even though the Browns have become recently a lot better.
Yeah.
I feel like they have tons of new players, so I feel like they're going to be a little bit unfamiliar with the team's schemes, the defense, offense, that kind of thing. So then I have Steelers 11-5, Browns 10-6. I have the Ravens at 9-7. It's a very competitive division because the Ravens have a really good defense, and Lamar Jackson now in his second year. I feel like he's going to start running more. Because
Well, he's also a running quarterback.
Yeah.
Like he set like some sort of college record for rush yards. Yeah. So I think that if you pick him if you pick him in your fantasy league, you will do well because not only are you getting passing yards, but you're getting rushing yards.
Pretty much, yeah. And then I have Bengals going 5-11.
Yeah.
I feel like that might be a little bit generous considering AJ Green is now out. Right?
Yeah.
He's out for a little bit. And then Andy Dalton only has Tyler Boyd.
Yeah, exactly.
Tyler Eifert.
Let's not forget Tyler Boyd put the Bills in the playoffs.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
So then AFC South, I have the Jags winning this division's wide open.
Yeah.
Anyone can win it. Because like you said, Jacoby Brissett could blow up.
Yeah.
And with Luck retiring, I have the Jags winning at 10-6 because they gave Miles Jack that extension.
Yeah.
Then I have the Texans at 9-7, the Titans at 8-8, and the Colts at 4-12.
4-12. Okay. That's okay. I have the Texans winning it.
Okay.
10-6. It's pretty much same as they did last year.
Yeah, I
understand.
have
the Colts at 8-8. I feel like
okay, that's respectable.
I'm pretty certain that Jacoby Brissett is gonna go off because they wouldn't pay him so much if he wasn't gonna go off. They're paying him almost as much as Nick Foles is getting paid. He's gonna go off in my opinion. And then I have the Jags at 6-10. They really have no one. I get maybe Nick Foles. Maybe he can do better than Blake Bortles. And then I have the Titans at 5-11. They're pretty much the exact same team as last year. All they really have is Derrick Henry, Corey Davis, who's aging. They're a decent team. They're all right.
So NFC time. I have the Eagles winning the division at 10-6, Cowboys at 9-7, Redskins at 8-8, and the Giants at 5-11.
Okay, I agree with that. I have the Cowboys winning it at 10-6. Zeke just signed the crazy contract. I feel like Dak will probably settle for a smaller contract. Then I have the Eagles at 8-8. Carson Wentz, I feel like he's going to let the team down a little bit as he has the past couple years. And then I have the Redskins at 5-11. Hopefully Dwayne Haskins will come in like halfway through the season. Yeah. Do a little get some things done. And then Giants at 3-13. They are nothing. They're terrible.
Do you think that Daniel Jones will get a regular season game under his belt this season?
I hope so, because Eli Manning is very old now. He is not getting anything done. He's not an elite quarterback.
It's almost like Peyton Manning when he was at the end of his tenure with the Broncos.
Yeah.
And he knew it. And he's like, all right, I'm going to retire before everyone explodes on me.
Yeah.
But then, Peyton Manning, or Eli Manning's not doing the same thing.
No.
And now everyone's exploding on him.
Mm-hmm. And now I feel like Daniel Jones, he's a very similar quarterback. They have very similar play style. And hopefully, I have sympathy for the Giants fans.
Yeah.
I really hope that Daniel Jones turns out to be very good and can make them to the playoffs.
Exactly.
Like they used to go to.
So then with the NFC West, I have the Rams at 14-2, the Seahawks at 11-5, the Cardinals at 9-7, and the 49ers at 8-8.
Okay, you got a very competitive division there.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. So I have the Rams at 13-3.
Okay.
I have the Seahawks at 9-7.
Okay.
Then I have the Niners at 6-10. Because Jimmy G did nothing in the preseason. I feel like he's going to do nothing in the regular season as well. And then I have the Cardinals at 4-12.
Okay.
Because they did pick up Kyler Murray. Yeah. Very good player with a good O-line.
Yeah.
The Cardinals O-line is terrible. He's going to be scrambling quite a bit. And he's also tiny. He is. He's like my height. He's very small. So I feel like they won't be able to get anything done this year. But maybe next year, in the few years coming, they'll be able to. So
the Cardinals had a head coach for 1 year. Do you think Cliff Kingsbury stays after this year?
I don't know. I feel like they're also a very bad team.
Yeah.
So I feel like he might, if he's like very determined to get this team to win, I feel like he'll stay. But if he just wants to get the bag, get some money, and then dip, I feel like he won't. Because they're not. You have to be very determined to get this team to win.
This is a rebuilding team, so it's going to take a while to get them competitive again. Then you got the NFC North. I have the Vikings at 10-6, Bears at 9-7, Lions at 6-10, and the Packers at 5-11.
You have the Packers in last?
Yeah.
Pags.
Well, see, the thing is, with Devontae Adams, he left, eh? Or no, it was Randall Cobb, sorry.
Randall Cobb. Yeah. Okay, I was gonna say what?
No.
Okay, so
my mistake.
Yeah, okay. So I have the Bears winning it.
Okay.
They have crazy defense, decent offense, so I have them going 12-4. Then I have the Packers because I feel like they really have nothing to lose now. Yeah. They have new head coach. They have new weapons. They have what's his name? The new guy they drafted, Rashawn Gary.
Yeah.
He seems to be a very good linebacker. Or is he D-line? I think he's line. Whatever.
Anyway, defensive player.
Defensive player, sure. And then I have Vikings at 7-9. Kirk Cousins, trash, overrated.
Yeah.
But like they still have Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen,
he has
Kyle Rudolph.
It just depends on how he uses them.
If he can do it. And then I have the Lions at 3-13.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. Last division in the NFC, the South. Yeah. The Saints I have going 11-5, Panthers 10-6. Falcons 9-7, and the Bucks going at 5-11.
Okay, that's respectable. I have the Saints going 13-3. I feel like they're gonna go all out this year after they got snaked last year.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Then I have the Falcons at 11-5. I feel like Matty Ice can get something done this year. Hopefully they do, because I feel like they're a team that has been, the 28-3 memes have been a thing for too long, and they need to win.
Yeah.
So then the Panthers are 8-8, in my opinion.
Okay.
Cam Newton as Christian McCaffrey, Curtis Samuel. They're a good team. They have weapons. They have really good players. But I don't think they're going to get anything done. I don't think they're going to win many games. And then I have the Bucks at 6-10. That's pretty generous. I feel like
do you think this is Jameis Winston's last rodeo? Like, whenever his contract is up, do you think this is Jameis Winston's last row? Do you think he'll get another job in the NFL somewhere?
I don't know. This might be his last thing because they took him very high. I think it was first.
Yeah.
First overall.
And now it doesn't look like he's a first overall player.
It's trash.
Now maybe the Buccaneers should have revisited the draft.
Yes.
And then took someone else.
He's not very good.
All right, playoff time.
Let's go.
So AFC wildcard. The 4 and 5. I have Patriots versus Jaguars. The 3 and 6. I have Browns versus Ravens. So for those two matchups, I have the Jaguars beating the Patriots and the Browns beating the Ravens.
All right.
So for the AFC divisional playoffs, I have the Chiefs, the number 1 seed, going up against the Jaguars. The Chiefs win that. Then I have the Browns going up against the number 2 seed, the Bills. And I have the Browns beating the Bills.
Yeah.
And then, the Chiefs beat the Browns in the conference championship. And the Chiefs move on to the Super Bowl.
All right.
Do you want to see your AFC?
I'll say mine.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so I have the 3 and 6 Steelers versus the Browns, and I have the Browns actually beating them.
Okay.
And then I have the Texans Chargers 4 and 5, and I have the Texans beating them. Both kind of like upsets because I feel like the Browns are a very rooted for team now.
Yeah, I think they are because I'm pretty sure
0 to hero.
everyone's tired of having them lose. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure people want to see them win.
Yeah, I even want to see them
Yeah,
win.
you kind of have that team like professional leagues where they've been bad for so long. You're like, can you please win
Yeah, just
more
win.
than
Come on.
2 games?
Yeah.
Which they did last year.
So then I have the 1 and 6, the Chiefs versus the Browns. I have the Chiefs winning that. And then I have the 2 and 4, Pats versus the Texans. And I have the Patriots winning that. And then it's the Chiefs versus Patriots again. Big story. Oh, they're gonna lose again. No, the Chiefs win this round and they go to the Super Bowl.
Awesome. All right, so NFC time. For the 4 and 5 seeds, I have the Panthers versus Vikings. Then for the 3 and 6, I have Seahawks versus Eagles. So I feel like the Vikings will beat out the Panthers. Then for Seahawks and Eagles, I have the Seahawks beating the Eagles. So then the NFC divisional, the Rams are the number 1 seed against the Vikings. Then the Saints are the number 2 seed up against the Seahawks. Then I have the Saints and Rams both beating them. Going off to the conference championship, and the Rams beat the Saints once again. Sorry, Saints fans, you can keep crying.
Sorry.
Then I have the Chiefs and Rams in the Super Bowl.
All right. So I have the 3 and 6, the Bears versus the Seahawks. And then I have the 4 and 5, the Cowboys versus the Falcons. I have the Cowboys winning, and I have the Bears winning. So then I have the 3 versus the 2, the Bears versus the Saints. And I have the Saints winning that. Then I have the 4 versus the 1, the Cowboys and the Rams. And I have the Cowboys winning that.
Okay.
And then I have the Saints versus the Cowboys in the NFC Championship. And I have the Cowboys winning that as well. I feel like they're a great team. I feel like they are very slept on. Everyone makes fun of them, but I feel like they can maybe do something. I feel like they can win a little bit. So, yeah. And on my Super Bowl is Chiefs versus Cowboys.
All right, so then the champion of the 2019-2020 NFL playoffs and the season, I have the Rams beating the Chiefs. Hopefully it's high scoring like the game in the regular season. It's like 52 combined points or whatever. I would love that after last year's disaster, 13-3. My God, I can't believe I didn't fall asleep.
I know. And so mine, the Chiefs versus the Cowboys, I have the Cowboys winning the Super Bowl. That's a reach. That's a very a big prediction, but I feel like the Cowboys can pull it out. Zeke, he's much more experienced now. He's gonna go off this year. Dak also gonna go off. I think they have Amari Cooper now, who has recently saved their offense, their receiving game more so, and I feel like they can win. I feel like they're a great team.
All right. Well, Charlie, I'd like to thank you for coming on and discussing the upcoming NFL season.
Of course.
Yeah, this will do it for Season 2, Episode 1 of the Pagcast. Thank you for listening, and we're back.
Yep.